So we're continuing our series about rain screens. If you don't know what a rain screen is, I encourage you to hit pause, come back to this video after you watch that one that actually talks about what a rain screen is and why it can be beneficial for your shipping container building. So assuming you saw the rain screen video talking about what it is and why it's a good thing to have in some of the buildings that you might be designing or building or living in or working in, we have already looked at a rain screen system that's already pre-engineered with aluminum brackets that hold the insulation on the outside of the shipping container. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what started all this, is answering the question, can you put insulation on the outside of a shipping container? And I'll leave a link to that video right here in case you missed that. And then we started discussing rain screens because it's a great system to use when you want to put insulation on the outside of the shipping container building. We're continuing this series, getting into more of the weeds about how we can actually put insulation on the outside of the building. We're going to talk about, in this video, using InSoFast, which is a really cool system where they're using rigid insulation already pre-cut, where it can actually fit between the flutes of the shipping container on the outside or inside, and within those flutes or those cuts and the rigid insulation, they have a spine, I'll call it. They have another word for it. And that spine is where it's rigid enough to where you can actually screw into it. You can actually attach siding or more insulation on top of that through that spine. And I'm going to show you some drawings that I did to better illustrate how InSoFast can be used on the outside of your shipping container, having insulation on the outside and also having siding on the outside of that insulation to protect the insulation and the waterproofing. So here's the wall section, and it's got wood studs with bad insulation in between on the inside. The blue is the shipping container. And then the InSoFast system is that white. The vertical black lines is the InSoFast studs. And it has a rabbeted edges of 3/4 of an inch so that these 3/4 inch thick rigid insulation can sit right over there and overlap it. Then we can use a 3/4 inch board as a furring strip to be able to attach this, the siding in this idea, going through the furring strip and then through the InSoFast stud. Let's kind of look back at this. Now the water will just run in between these furring strips and behind that wood siding. What if we added a 2-inch rigid insulation? It would just add even more R value, which would be awesome. And the water will still run in between the furring strips like this. So is that something you would like to do on your shipping container building? Using InSoFast in order to put siding or whatever type of outdoor cladding that you would like on the outside of your building? Does that work for you? Well, I've got a couple more ideas. One is, instead of using a rigid board to push out the siding and to create an area for the water to trickle behind the outside finish face, why don't we use wood furring strips? Well, we're going to talk about that in the next video. Be sure to subscribe, and that way you won't miss out on any of these series where we're talking about all kinds of ways you can put a rain screen on the shipping container building while also having insulation on the outside. We'll see you on the next episode.